Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Kubera Season 2, Episodes 27 onward. I don't know how many I'm going to do yet. So this next chapter, title that we're going into is Reflection, and Reflection is 7 episodes long. So I don't know if I should do 3 this week, or in 4 next week, or 4 this week and 3 next week. I guess it depends on how long these are, and if I can stop myself from reading. If I can stop after 3 and I'm like, that's a good stopping point, I'll do 3 this week, 4 next week. But if I can't stop myself, if I do 4, then I'll have to somehow stop myself and then do the next 3 next week. So I don't know how long this video is going to be until I finish recording it. But yeah, either way, I'm really excited to go into more Kubera stuff. I knew it was going to be like a little bit of a non-standard choice. I know, like, all of you always say you love all of Kubera. Like, Kubera comments are always extremely positive and full of love for the series. But I figured that Caution wouldn't be a lot of people's, like, favorite, but I think it's up there. It could be my favorite so far. I just think the way that it was written was so good. Like, I was just on the edge of my seat. I was feeling the stress and anxiety of what's going down. Like, all of that was written so well, so extremely well, that and on top of all that, the comedy, we didn't get as much of it because things were more serious, but what we got was fun, and the character work, incredible. So yeah, I really thought Caution was good. So I'm excited to get into Reflection. It's 7 long. That's a bit, so I don't think we're going to get into like any of the main crazy action yet or anything. Like, I don't think the attack on the place is going to start yet. I don't think that, say, Gintarva's going to like make a move and try to kill Teo yet, anything like that. I think we're going to continue the slow burn that we've been doing, because Reflection makes me think that there are going to be maybe some characters reflecting on things, but in a literal sense. I think that the reflection in the little lake at the Temple of Chaos is going to be important to all of this. I think that's going to be the main central theme of what these 7 chapters are about. And if so, I guess that means we might get into the, temple opening and everything. We might actually finally get there, even if we're not deep enough in to be going after the sword yet or anything. I don't want to waste too much more of your time, though, with the intro, so let's just start reading. We have episode 27. We're seeing this shot here from last time. Gintarva Tribe Gnostica, Gintarva, King. We have full light novel here. The king of the Gintarva tribe, one of the 8 tribes of the Shura, according to the list made by the gods. Gintarva is ranked 5th amongst Gnostica after Ananta, Vritra, Yaksha, and Ashura. Okay. I'm going to be taking my time. Again, if you just want me to read and not comment on anything, you might be in the wrong place. I'm going to be talking about all of this as we go through. So, Gintarva's 5th ranked, in at least at the time at the time that this book was written that Teo's reading from. So 5th after Ananta is ahead, Vritra, Yaksha, and Ashura, but Ashura is dead, or no, not Ashura. Yaksha is dead by now, because we learned earlier in oh gosh, no, it was the Sorrow of Loss, I think. Early on in that, there was a Yaksha's bone, and you can't have a piece of a Shura without that Shura having died, because the piece that breaks off will vanish as the Shura regenerates. So given that there were bones of Yaksha being traded around, Yaksha is like confirmed dead. However, now that Ananta and okay, so I did the reactor thing. Where I talk about something that's explained literally in the next sentence. However, now that Ananta and Yaksha have been eliminated, Gintarva's 3rd, following Vritra and Ashura. He is most often sighted in a planet-sized form, but he's sometimes reported to be city-sized or even smaller. Largest recorded appearance was when he apparently swallowed a red giant star. However, the only witness was Agni, and Agni died during the incident, so his information cannot be relied upon. Gintarva's only spouse is Menaka, excluding the propagation period at the beginning of the universe when he was breeding to expand his forces. A daughter was born between them, but she's weak to the point where her name is not even worth being remembered. I like this idea. So something that we run into with Tower of God is, in Tower of God there's the 10 great families, and there's the family heads that are at the start of all of them. So in order to have these great families fleshed out as entire families, we kind of run into the issue of, in order to have this fleshed out, that means that the family head had to have either had kids who had a lot of kids who had a lot of kids who had a lot of kids, or they just populated a lot by themselves. And you can have that, but if the writer, if CU for Tower of God, wants to tell a really intimate story, like a one-on-one character romance between one of the family heads and one other partner, then it becomes like, again, they could have kids who had kids who had kids, but it becomes harder to explain the vastness of some of their families at times. And CU has, I think, not done a great job always of explaining out how these families got that big without just saying, oh, these people don't really count, or these people aren't really kids, or whatever. So I like that it was done differently here, where we have the tribes of Shura, much like the 10 families, and of course we have like all of these Shura come from these tribes. So all of these random Shura we're seeing would either have to be a descendant of a descendant of a descendant of a descendant of somebody like Gentarva, or I love this explanation where we can tell like a more human, intimate story about Gentarva's family, his love being Manaka, his daughter who he loves being Shakuntala. We can tell this more intimate story while still explaining why there's just a ton of random Gentarva Shura by saying that at the beginning of the universe, all of the Shura were out here just breeding like crazy to expand their forces. So we can have that like early primordial breeding to expand out why there are a bunch of just random Shura out in the universe, but then also say that once that period was over, they became kind of the pseudo-gods or anti-gods or whatever that they are now, explaining how we can tell stories with them that are more down to earth for us as readers in the real world and more intimate. So again, I think that this explanation is really good and a lot more satisfying than some of the explanations that we've gotten for things in Tower of God. The information above is a record of the god of water Varuna in the Misty Shore Temple in D920. The image is a reconstruction based on Varuna's sighting of Gentarva in year D1 near the planet Gresvan. So again, this is crazy, getting more planets, people who have, again, like the humans have books here on Willarv from gods who saw things, like with information from Agni and Varuna, gods who saw things not even on this planet. The information is in books passed down to humans on Willarv. Gresvan, the collapsed planet, right? Yes, that's probably one of the planets that's been attacked in revenge by the Shura before there was the closed space, due to humans' abandonment of the Shura and making a vow to only believe in gods. The planet was eliminated more than 1,000 years ago. Retaliation. Then it would make sense if he hates humans, or that he hates humans. Of course, all Shuras hate humans. And the same goes for humans hating Shuras. We don't have to talk about 1,000-year-old incidents to know that. Well, that's true. So what is he planning? Looking back on the attack on Atera last time, we can say it's almost certain that there are a bunch of high-class Shura somewhere. And it would make sense that at least one of them is a Gnostica. But for what reason? Would he be staying here, acting as a human with amnesia? Plus, he couldn't even dodge my attack and seemed too weak to be a Gnostica. Teo, by the way, it seems that there are more people than we expected who are willing to go for the Sword of Return. Since it will be difficult to handle all of them, only with our staff members, how about raising the level of the test? Yes, that's why. That's the reason. Since he needs to pass the test in order to reach the sword, he was using me to get to the sword. Oh gosh, how could I not notice it earlier? Using that guy to clean the temple was no different than to set up, or to set the fox to keep the geese. And this is interesting because we do have people who are after the sword, but Teo's kind of thinking the one guy who's not really here for that is here for it when he's here for her. Teo, I have no time for this. I have to get him out of here right away. About the sword test, make all the events the same as last year, but just raise the cutoff score by a little. I'll set the cutoff score when I return, so just arrange the content of the test. Why is she acting like that all of a sudden? And now we have Reflection, Part 1. Please, want to come with me to go buy some clothes? You've only been wearing slippers since you have no shoes. You can just buy anything for me, Ron. You should come with me. There'll be lots of fine clothes since this is a large city. I'm exhausted. I used up my vigor when the transcendental didn't even work. Yeah, alright then. I'll just get you anything. Well, I can get your shoe size from this one. We have the one left over. But about the clothes size, I'll just get something that's loose. But how come Asha and Yuta aren't showing up at all? They really fit well with each other. I first thought LEEZ and Yuta were the close ones while Asha wasn't. But nowadays it seems that Asha and Yuta have some kind of secret between them. LEEZ seems to be always left out, knowing nothing. Moreover, Asha always scolds LEEZ. I feel bad watching her. She has such a hard life for a young age. I should buy her a lot of clothes. Then, I thought you had many things to do in the temple. Is it fine for a priestess to leave the temple like this? It's fine. The important things are mostly done. The rest can be managed by the others. Why, you want something in the temple? Shall we return to the temple? No, not really. Did I guess wrong? Is he not after the Sword of Return? Then why would he... Well, he wouldn't be aiming to kill the priestess. No, he would have attacked me already if so. And this, again, I hate overusing the word interesting, but I've been doing it for 8 years, is so interesting how she is like, of course, he would just attack me if he was here to kill the priestess. Yet the reason he hasn't is because of his own internal turmoil that she has no idea he's dealing with. I really have no clue. Is he actually just like a normal human, meaning what I saw at the lake was just an illusion? Maybe that's it. He looks too weak to be a Gnostica. Teo. Yes? I'd like to go out and stay out for a night. I have a few things to think about. Outside, but where are you going to sleep? I'm just going for a walk. I don't really sleep that much anyway, so staying up for a night would be fine. Is it too much to ask? Should I not do that, since I owe you money? No, it's fine. You can go out tonight. What's his plan? Should I tail him? And I said it last week when Kurigam was talking about it in the blog post afterward, whatever, talking about like the prettiest characters. I really do think Teo is probably the prettiest. Though again, there's some other characters that are up there. I think, of course, we know that this is just because of the way Kurigam portrays her, but I think LEEZ is up there. I think Asha's up there. I think all the characters really are, in a way. I'm sorry. Looks like we've talked for a long time. Again, I know it's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I really, really love Kubera's art style, personally. Okay, so I'm sorry it looks like we've talked for a long time, but there wasn't much that I could reveal to you, so that whole story became a bit absurd. And then he's writing, now I understood most of it. How? Asha, I'm a Rakshasa. There are things I've seen and heard throughout my life, so I can assume the part which you couldn't say. Yes, that's right. Maybe I forgot that for a while because you made us feel so comfortable. I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. No, I don't feel uncomfortable. In fact, I feel so comfortable now that I feel pathetic that I was suspicious of you once before. Yuta, I want victory, and that's what I live for. But now, why am I taking a harder path when there's a much easier path to proceed on? I can just leave her. If I did, it'd be much easier to see victory. It's pathetic. I was doing well until now, but Things had gone wrong in the last few months. Why, of all? Why is LEEZ... And then, she can't talk again? Gosh, never mind. This is enough. It already feels a lot better that I've talked with you. Thank you for listening, Yuta. And she can't confide everything, but I think what she's struggling with is that she needed the person with the name of the god to get the sword or to do whatever she needs. And I think it is for revenge against Kubera in the end, probably, because she obviously has some dark past dealing with God Kubera. But I think the why of all why is LEEZ. Like, of all the people in the world, it could have been somebody that she could have dragged along, sacrificed to get the power of the sword, and again, like, sacrificed in the sense that manipulated, maybe something bad will happen, who knows. But I think that she's like, of all the people that could have had the name of a god, why is it LEEZ? Because I think that she sees LEEZ as this innocent village girl who doesn't know anything. And she's come to be like, you know, much like Gandharva's like, Teo's so nice, how can I kill her? I think that Asha is also like, LEEZ is so nice, how can I kill her? Even though we don't know if killing is really on the table for what Asha's planning. But you get my point. It's like, how can I do something bad to her? Then, so now you aren't going to get all angry at Ron and LEEZ, right? I feel bad every time I watch you act that way. They don't know anything, do they? If this keeps going on, they'll keep distance between you and them. She looks surprised. Wait, Yuta. Look. That flower pot. Was it withered like that before? What does that mean? Is that supposed to be a hint that Claude was like listening in on them or something? Was he like hiding in the background of one of these panels or something? I guess not. Because I was trying to think, I was like, fire, but, you know, Agni would maybe just burn it, not make it wilt. Maybe death would make it wilt, though. So maybe Claude was around, and that caused it? Or is this the same... Ooh, is this the same place, maybe? This could be wild crackpot theory. The same place that Claude was talking with... The same place that Claude was talking with LEEZ earlier, where did he say Hoteyama or Bavadiyama? I think it was just Hoteyama. When he said that, and she was like, oh my god, I thought you cast it or whatever. Did he actually cast it, and it killed that plant? Was it withered like that before? And now we're cutting away again. We have LEEZ. It feels so stuffy. I don't think I've eaten that much. Why do my clothes feel so tight? And then split, button pops off. The Kubitties. I've had to say that a bunch through this read-through. They're just constantly trying to escape, apparently. Jeez, a faulty product. Why did this just fall off? Asha's gonna nag again. Anyway, I should change into something else before Ron comes back. Then she looks at her reflection. And the Kubitties. And not just that, but she looks like taller. Is she transforming into future LEEZ? To be continued. It feels like that chapter both. I feel like I took a long time reading it, but I felt like it was so short. I want more. I'm glad I'm not ending on this one. Wow, this is really good so far. Again, I think that Kubera. Yeah, this is maybe gonna come off condescending. I don't want to be like, well, you know, you can't be a Rick and Morty fan without an IQ of 120 or whatever. But it's like, sometimes I feel like different series have different, like, maybe GPA requirements. Sometimes I'm like, My Hero Academia is like a, you know, the bar for it is like a 1.5 GPA. Not very high for you to understand it, for you to get it. And yet a lot of people still somehow don't get this series that I feel like children should be able to understand. Kubera, I think, is not for everyone, because if you're just like, I want to see Punch, I want to see Laser Beam, that's not really what you're getting. I think, you know, this might be like a 3.2 GPA bar series. So you have to think a little bit more about Kubera and stuff. I don't think it's for everyone, because most of these chapters are just the characters standing around talking, but it is so compelling. I think this chapter and the past 6 chapters of characters just standing around talking has been more compelling than most action chapters or episodes of anything that I've watched or read in maybe years even. like that might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but seriously, this is so compelling. It's so good. I love stuff like this. I love series that just take their time. We're not like, okay, we need to hit this plot point, we need to hit this plot point, we need to hit this plot point. We just take our time. We spent a whole 6 chapters and now potentially could spend a whole 7 more chapters just with characters talking to each other, living within this world. We saw that with Teo and Gandharva, just talking, living in this world. And yet, we learned so much. There were, I think, only like 3, maybe 4 scenes in this entire chapter, and each of those like 4 scenes were just characters talking or thinking to themselves. And yet, we learned so much, and I was never like bored, never like, okay, I need to get through this to get to what's next. Again, I'm just like edge of my seat, invested in all of the stuff that they're doing. Like, this is really, 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 really good stuff. So with this chapter out of the way, let's go read the afterword for this chapter, and then we'll get into 27. Or wait, 28. Okay, sorry, I was just making sure that you could see it. We have LEEZ looking back smiling. The main characters for reflection are Gandharva and Boobs. Makes sense, makes sense. Then Teo getting the temple ready to open. This scene originally contained more pillars in the middle, but after I finished drawing 2 of them, I was like, whatever, forget the rest. So it ended up empty. I wonder if more pillars are going to be added when the next book comes out. But drawing pillars makes me sleepy. I can't help but think about whether this much effort will pay off or not, as well as other kinds of useless thoughts. This is what I love too. Again, you're going to see me, because I'm somebody who has read Tower of God for like 13 plus years. You're going to see me make a lot of comparisons to Tower of God, because it's also another kind of started around the same time, long-running webtoon manhwa. And I miss this. Because we used to have afterwards or CU's blog post at the end of every chapter for years and years and years, and they were really good, and it was just always nice to get more information. After a while, they turned into every single week CU being like, just listing out his long list of health issues, and while I felt bad for him and felt sympathy for him and wanted him to take a break, get some rest, get healed up, get rested up, and then come back. While I felt bad for him and stuff, it's like after a while we just, even when we had the blog posts, we weren't really getting this kind of fun extra information and discussion of the chapter anymore, and then eventually just stopped doing them altogether. And now we don't have it at all, and I really, really miss it, because I think in the early days of Tower of God, Season 1, early Season 2, the blog posts or afterwards were like really key and critical and like so fun, and that's what I really feel like for these afterwards. I don't really think we get like lore drops and stuff that's as crazy as the Tower of God blog posts, but even just this extra information, some of Kurigam's thoughts while making the chapter, I think are so fun, and I love the extra information here. But then we have Asha and Yuta. The color of the background, pink, was chosen randomly, but it caused the mood to become weird. In Korean comics, a pink background often implies a romantic mood. And then rolling button. The most difficult scene in this episode. I wanted to show a button rolling down in a one-cut scene, but I had trouble figuring it out, so the end result was unknown. I actually rolled a button and did absolutely everything and experimented on it, but the result was a disaster. No comment on that last scene. Check out the next episode. And then I think I'm allowed to read this. I finished okay. This must just be things that were added on to the afterword later. I fixed the part where I didn't finish Teo's eyes. Thank you for letting me know. And again, stuff like this is awesome. I think that I was just watching Ron Can's Tower of God reaction stream earlier. Again, bringing up Tower of God, sorry. But we were talking about, sometimes in manga where there's a mistake and then people point it out and they're like, okay, fixed it for the volume release. But then for Tower of God, where it's a webtoon, it's like, so if there's a mistake in the art, do they go back and fix the mistake in the art? Do they just say, oh, well, I guess that's the way it is. It was just a mistake. I like here showing up, or like this showing up right after, talking about that, where, talking about just like in manga, a mistake was made, and then the author going back and be like, oh yeah, I fixed it. The final scene, the bracelet's on the wrong side because it's a reflection. I'm sorry I couldn't, okay, yeah, bracelet's on the wrong side because it's a reflection. Sorry I couldn't draw it obvious enough for you to tell whether it's reflected or not. Okay. I understand what they mean. But that is it for chapter 27. Let's go. We're episode 27. Let's go to season 2, episode 28. So I'm not going to lie to you. This might be the 3-chapter part of this because, well, I just remembered too, I'm going to be kind of busy next week on Monday. But even if I'm going to be kind of busy, I should be home early enough to record earlier than I'm recording this. So I'll do the 4 next week probably. But that was like 30 minutes just for 1 chapter. So this is probably going to be the 3-chapter video. But again, we'll see. Okay, let's read. We have a red background this time. I'm afraid that you've just missed her. Teo's already gone down to the city. Ah, well, things can't always go as planned, I guess. While there are times that you get to meet someone, the other times you can just be unlucky like this and we have Claude. That's the way it is for everyone, unless you're a god who foresees the future. But it's unlikely that Teo would return anytime soon. Wouldn't it be better for you to go back to the Temple of Earth than to just wait here? And this is the same red-headed person from last chapter, I think. No, I'd rather wait here. Is there any reason that I should not? Nope, there's no problem, but then I'm taking that as a yes. You look as if you're in a very good mood. Ha, did it show too much? It's nothing much, but I think there's something that but there is something that I think will turn out well. Let's just say that I want to see the iron wall collapsing. I assure you that before the sunrise tomorrow morning, there will be a magician with a pallid face looking for me. Howsoever great the magician may be, there's no other way but to come and beg for my help on this subject. Now we have reflection part 2. LEEZ, I got clothes for you. I didn't know your preference, so I just got a bunch of them. Come and check them out. The door creaks open and then slams back shut. Thank you. I'll go down after I wear them. Okay, so she just grabbed the stuff. What's wrong? She usually opens the door while yawning with her hair all messed up. Is she all of a sudden beginning to adorn herself? I think she was making her voice sound mature as well. It can't be like she started to see me as a man or anything, right? Ron, 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 chirp, chirp, LEEZ from Ron's point of view. I hope that's not it. Chicky can never be my type. She's like more than 1 billion light years away from my preference. Okay, let's say it takes roughly 2 weeks to get back the Hide of Bondage from my brother. LEEZ and the rest has business to deal with in the Temple of Chaos, and it's opening on this date. Should I accompany them rather than being bored all alone here? I'm curious about the test for the sword after all. Ron, seems that this cap belongs to you. Can I borrow it? Huh? A cap? Did I give you that as well? Yeah, take it if you like. And then we see this mature LEEZ. That's so good. Hold on. We have him here. And then this panel. I love Kubera's art. Ah, fucking hot. That's so good. That's so good. So, you woke up to find yourself changed like this. Yeah, even the button on my pajamas fell off. Then, there's only one thing that might explain this. In fact, it's gotta be that. You said you met Claude this morning, right? Did you hear a spell called Hoteyama from him? That's right, but it had no effect on me. Okay. Does Hoteyama not kill you outright, like snapping you to kill you, but does it make you age quickly until you die? And that's why the pallid-faced magician is going to be begging for his help with something because he's saying Asha is going to be coming to beg him to, save LEEZ from being killed by Hoteyama. That's probably what that means, right? That's not true, because that spell has its effect 12 hours after it's used, just like you now. Ah, and this is not all that happens. With more time flowed from the moment you've changed. With more time flowed from the moment you've changed, it'd be better to just keep this part for myself, he thinks. Anyhow, okay, so he's not telling her, but I'm still assuming what I said is what happens. Anyhow, when Asha returns, we have to go to Claude and ask him to take the spell off of you before the sun rises. When Asha finds out what happened, she'll do anything to bring you to the temple right away. When the spell's gone, do I go back to my original appearance? Of course. Hey, don't be so disappointed. Your original appearance looks better for your age. Well, but I've grown so tall and look so much different than before that you can't be calling me Chicky now. I won't call you Chicky anymore, so listen to me. I want to go out where it's crowded before I go back to myself, and I think it'd be better for you to just stay in the inn. What if something happens to you again while you're outside? No need to worry about my safety for going out at night. I'm not scared of any molesters at all. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm assuming again because she doesn't know, but he's talking about if she makes another time jump or something, I'm assuming. After a certain amount of time, and she's gone already. Hey, LEEZ. Man, no, this is a random person. Man, look at that girl. She has such a nice body. Isn't she a little too tall? Who cares about that when she's got such a nice figure? She looked pretty as well, even though I couldn't see well because of that cap. She's laughing to herself. Everyone's watching me. So this is how a pretty person would live like. This is so nice. But there's one thing that gets in my mind. How is this magic suited for murder? Who cares? I'll just roam about the street just a little longer and go back. I'm surprised that even LEEZ can't put this together. Like, LEEZ is not that dumb, really. Ron did say before the sunrise, so there's a good deal of time left, even counting the time it takes to go up to the temple. And we're seeing all these various people. Whoa, things look amazing at night. It seems more halves are out than in the daytime as well. Is it that they aren't coming out in the daytime because of the people who don't like halves like Ron? There's a good chance. I should take this as a chance to make a half friend. Do you think an apology will solve everything? You should make some kind of compensation with money, she hears. I don't have any with me now. Bullshit. Why would anyone come to the shopping area at night with no money, huh? Wait a sec, what's with your eye? Are you a half? Then bring me your sponsor. But I'm not a half. If you're not a half, then what are you? A Gnostica or something? Or just a one... Cancelled! Just a one-eyed retard. Cancelled! And then he's upset. I'm a sponsor. What's the problem? And Lee steps in. I wonder if either is going to recognize the other. Or if Gentarva just saw her as some random human girl, thinks that she probably died when, Marina blew up the village and stuff, so he wouldn't bother remembering some random human. And LEEZ is kind of LEEZ, and he looks a little different, so she might not get that it's him. It seems to be nothing serious. How about being a man and going a round of arm wrestling with me? I'll give you 100 gold if you win, but if you lose, just let us leave in peace. How about that? And that's our to be continued. I love this design for LEEZ as well. It's so good. She's so cool looking. Like, the hat and outfit is such a good combo. Okay. Well, that one didn't take nearly as long as last time, I don't think. So then, let's go check out the afterward. The afterward this time around. I wonder whether or not Claude's hope of collapsing Asha's impenetrable wall will come true. Then, in the last episode, Ron went out at sunset, but even after he bought the clothes, it's still not nighttime yet. He returned rather quickly, didn't he? As a matter of fact, we can see that Ron doesn't hesitate much when he buys clothes. I just thought a lot of time was passing. Me personally, I thought that was actually morning when he was leaving. I just thought that we were, spending a lot of time here and everything. So then we see that Ron doesn't hesitate much when he buys clothes. He just steps into random stores to grab and buy the first thing he sees. Then, this is the same person as in the pic above. This is my favorite scene from this episode, shocked Ron. I love it. You want her to take off her hat, don't you? The reason she pulls her hat down will be revealed much later. Ooh, so there's something different with her face, I guess? Gandharva wore shoes which had some heels to them in the last scene. I showed a slight consideration for Gandharva, since his height will be compared to LEEZ's. Oh, because people would call him short, even though I'm pretty sure Gandharva's like really tall, actually. I mean, really tall in his not pretending to be a human form, but even in his pretending to be a human form, I think he's still supposed to be decently tall. It's just that LEEZ is like really tall now. Okay, and then happy Chinese New Year. Alright, that is the afterword for this one. Let's go read the next chapter. Alright, we have episode 29, Reflection Part 3, Arm Wrestling. What a daring suggestion for such a pretty lady. It's definite that she's going to use magic, seeing her betting 100 gold with such boldness. Sure, I accept the deal, but let's have fair play without using any magic. Wow, what a thankful offer. And then just immediate. Wow, it didn't even last 3 seconds. Is it possible for a woman to be that strong without using any magic? She's got to be a quarter. But the guy's also a quarter. He's a fighter who participated in the fighter tournament, or the fighter championship tournament. Whether they're purebloods or quarters, there's a number of women who are stronger than men. Don't you remember Teo and Irie at the tournament? But a female fighter who's that strong has to be quite famous. But I don't think I've seen that girl before. Yeah, me neither. Never seen such a female fighter before. Okay, as we promised, we'll be leaving now. Bye. What's keeping you? Let's go. I said that I'm your sponsor, remember? Come with me until where people can no longer see us. Sure, but no need to hold my hand like that. The guy's being dragged. He looks so weak for a half. And we have Teo is following. I was about to step in and help. Who is she? There's no way for me to not have heard of a fighter like her. There was nothing wrong with the plant a while ago, but it just withered as we were talking. Nothing can describe this anomaly but the effect of a Hoteyama spell. So maybe it was not just LEEZ, but also the plant, just any living thing in the vicinity of when he cast it, or that would have heard him cast it. That spell's activated after a 12-hour term for its execution, and 12 hours before the moment the plant withered would be when LEEZ met Claude this morning. Nothing serious to be concerned about. He must have used the magic with the plant in his range just to explain the magic. He wouldn't be so stupid to use such a spell when he'll be pointed as the suspect for sure. Ron Syrafay, what are you doing out here? Wah! Yuta, catch this thing. She sidesteps. LEEZ went outside. I tried to follow, but have... Wah! Please don't kill me. I'm sorry. So you're saying LEEZ went outside, but you couldn't follow her since you were scared of the halves around the inn, am I right? He nods. I understand. You should go back to the inn, Ron Syrafay. There are many halves at this hour, so you won't be of any help. But LEEZ, Hoteyama... And then, Yuta's surprised. She changed. She looks around your age, Asha. Ron Syrafay. Didn't you learn anything at the Magic University? Did not mention on how old she looked. Whom you saw was not LEEZ, but just another person. Do you understand? I get it. I forgot the warnings for a while, since this was the first time I ever saw this. How much did you explain to her about the spell's effects? Nothing significant, only the part that it must be turned off before sunrise. That's a relief. Thank you for that part, Ron Syrafay. Since it's a spell with an issue that is banned to be used in other cases than capital punishment, the effects of the spell should be kept in secret at all means, for LEEZ is too young. Poor little chickie. Anyhow, that guy Claude, I never thought he would be a guy to do such a thing. It's unbelievable. Ron Syrafay, you go back inside and wait. Yuta, come with me. We've got to find LEEZ right now. Whether to abandon or keep the card is in my decision. Don't you dare meddle in my affairs. Phew, I see no more people here. Shall we go our own ways now? Thank you. I promise I'll pay you back for this. Can you tell me your name? My name is... Wait, my appearance has totally changed. Is it going to be a problem if I use the same name? I should probably borrow that rich woman's name for now. Riche, that's my name. I see, Miss Riche. Your name and your warmness is as beautiful as your looks. Ha 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 ha. Thank you. By the way, Miss Riche, haven't we met before? Huh? That can't be. This is my first time looking like... No, I mean, I don't remember meeting you. Did he just say, haven't we met before? What about your amnesia? Teo. It sounds like LEEZ has gone somewhere else with a half. It could be no one else but LEEZ if she had curly blue-green hair with a voluptuous body and such power. Do you think we can easily find her? Well, they said she went to the place that isn't very crowded, so it's most likely that she acted as if she was the half sponsor and planned to part with the half where people are not around. With little people around, you won't have much trouble feeling where LEEZ is, Yuta. Even in the worst case scenario of not finding her, she'll come back to the inn anyway since she's got common sense. Didn't you say that there's a time limit? Right, we need to hurry. LEEZ met Claude in the morning, so before sunrise at least, LEEZ has to be taken to Claude to get the spell off her. I was wondering about this for a while. I've never heard of that spell Hoteyama before. Along with that, I've never seen a magician who uses it. I know Yama means god of death, but what is the actual effect of Hoteyama? It's no surprise that you've never seen it before, because that spell has no effect on Shuras. Hoteyama is a spell that erases out the rest of the person's lifespan, with only 12 hours left. And he's surprised. The effect can be visually witnessed. After 12 hours since it's been cast, and after another 12 hours, the victim's lifespan is drained and their heart stops. It only works on humans, not Shuras, because it is literally a lifespan drainage. You Shuras do not die or have the concept of aging to death, so it doesn't affect you. Hang on. If it's 12 hours left till their dry death, shouldn't LEEZ look like a grandma? But Ron said LEEZ seemed to be somewhere around your age, Asha. Yes, that's right. He definitely said that. But Yuta, humans are born with different lifespans. So, it's not always the case of dying from old age. Even if someone survives by avoiding all risky elements, when one's destined time comes, the heart stops beating. And no one but the god of death himself can stop people from dying like that. Not me, not you, not even a primeval god or a Gnostica can save LEEZ from it. And we see, is this the death of old LEEZ? To be continued. So again, we're just getting more hints at the future. I think eventually we are going to get into some of this grander time stuff and fate stuff and having to change fate. It seems like with both Asha and LEEZ, that's something that feels inevitable writing-wise. Gosh, I kind of don't want to stop. But then I'm like, will I be able to stop after next chapter? Let's go read the afterword for this one. If LEEZ hesitated for even a second, Teo might have interfered and solved the problem easily, right? There wouldn't be any need for Teo to arm wrestle or say she's a sponsor, because as long as she showed her face, the situation would end right there. The guy who started the fight would then bow politely and run away. And then, guy digging his own grave.jpg. I couldn't remember how to draw hand in hand, so I drew it by holding my own right and left hands together, but then I remembered later that you have to use the same hand to arm wrestle, so I had to redraw the scene. I must be an idiot. Then, crying Ron being consoled by Yuta, Ron Cyrefe, 36 years old, who's whimpering to a Rakshasa because he's scared of halves. Yuta holding up his notepad. His really long dialogue can't fit into one page, since I can't just use another notebook page scene. I have to draw a scene and put the type above it, but the author's true reason is she doesn't want to use her own handwriting. Some of you asked me the reason why LEEZ Wears Her Hat didn't come out yet. It'll be said later. I never said it'll come out this episode. I don't mind anyone being curious about it, but why would anyone call me a liar? For those of you who asked why the background information, for Hoteyama hasn't come out yet, please check here, and then that's a blog thing. Okay, so, honestly, it is almost midnight, but I do know I'm going to be busy next week, even though, You know, even though I could be busy and then be done by like 8 p.m. and be able to record and have this done earlier than this week, I'm mostly making excuses because I don't want to stop reading. So I'm gonna read one more this week and then just do 3 next week. Let's go to episode 30. We've never met before. Well, for sure, you do look much different from that girl. I must be mistaken. Okay. We've never met before? Well, for sure, you do look much different from that girl. I must be mistaken. I must be getting old for sure. I make wrong guesses more and more. He looks no older than Asha. Why does he talk as if he's an old grandpa? Ah, I forgot that halves look about 4 times younger than their actual appearance, so it must be true that he's a half. Well, everyone makes mistakes. Anyway, we're done talking, right? Be cautious on your way to your real sponsor, and don't get involved with such a guy again. Where do you live, Miss Reish? Pardon? I don't actually live in this city. I'm just stopping by. Then leave this city. As soon as possible, in fact. Leave this city right now. You shouldn't be here. And now, reflection part 4. And I'm surprised we haven't, like, you know, the reflection is connected, your character is reflecting, whatever, and of course Teo investigating because of the reflection that Teo saw, but we haven't, like, literally been looking at more characters' reflections. So I was wrong on that front. Out of the blue leaf? Is there some kind of problem? No, just a bad omen. I dreamed of the whole city collapsing. A dream of Shuras invading and destroying every building while slaughtering every living thing. Of course she won't believe me, but this is sufficient for her goodwill. Whether she leaves or not after listening to me, I do not need to concern about her future. All right, I'll leave. But since I can't leave on my own, I'll have to discuss this with my friends. I understand your nervousness being in a city. People say that cities are the safest place to be in, but I realize that's not always the case. Rather, a city could be more open to danger, as it's where most people are crowded together. Think about it. If even one out of all the people is set as the target for Shuras, the whole city's in danger. If you ask, would Shuras really attack the whole city only because of one person? I would say yes. That's how Shuras are. Without any hesitation, they would kill, all in order to kill just one. They are truly evil. Why am I saying this now? Anyway, that was my point. People will ridicule you if you leave the city because you don't feel safe, but I'm not like that. Because I know it's wrong to think that a city will be safe just because it's a city. Because I know the whole city could be in danger because of me. So, I can leave. Although I can't just do so as I please. Please, don't look at them only in a bad way. Is this what he's gonna say? My daughter is waiting for me, so I have no other choice. Your daughter? Why is he talking about his daughter out of the blue? In what sense does it relate to what we were talking about? It's too rugged. The road I must take to meet her. I can't even get there by my own strength, so I have to borrow strength from others, but the process is too painful. And there's no guarantee that I can meet my daughter. Even if I do all that, I've become so weak, recently I think, that I could die even before I meet her again. And this is kind of what Kurigan was talking about with Gantarva as the main character here. Gantarva is really, really cool. Because he's doing all this just to meet his daughter again. But he really doesn't want to. He doesn't want to rely on Sagara or God Kubera, because he knows that what they're doing is sketchy and arguably wrong. He doesn't want to hurt Teo because Teo's been a genuinely kind person to him, but he has to do all these things he doesn't want to do because he thinks it's the only way to get to his daughter. And even if he does, is his daughter even going to be there for him? Much like Teo's parents, he just doesn't know. And even if she is there, is she going to be, is he going to do all this stuff, lead to all these deaths, and make it back to Shakuntala? And then what if Shakuntala is upset that he could have lived out in the freedom of the human realm, but he caused all this pain just to get to the Shura realm, where the Shura are stuck suffering? So, yeah, is Shakuntala even going to be happy with him making it there if he does? that I could die even before I meet her again. Miss Reese, you have a father, right? Imagine that you're separated from him, and he's struggling to reach you, but the road he must walk is too rugged. But being a father, he cannot stop thinking of his daughter who would be waiting for her. He doesn't have to. And then Gantarva's surprised. With all that suffering, if he must go all through those trials that could even kill him, I would rather want him to stay there. And I wonder if this is even gonna be like double applicable, double foreshadowing, if it's gonna relate to her father and what he might have gone through or might even still be going through if he's still alive and everything. Aren't you taking it too lightly just because it's not your business? How would the daughter feel if her father does not come to see her? Feels quite alright, actually. I'm not joking around. Have you ever thought about what would happen if the daughter finds out that her father's died on a struggle to meet her? How would the daughter feel? And then he's surprised at that. She'll be disappointed if I don't get to her. She'll still want me to get to her, even if I have to go through all the hardships. You think so? But that's not true. She'll surely miss you. But she would never resent you for that. If I get used as bait, you should come to rescue me. You must give up on me. Or you shouldn't come to rescue me. You must give up on me. Yeah, especially when that's literally what she told him. I don't know if she would be upset at him for doing all of this to get there, when she told him not to begin with. And I think, much like the very beginning of the series, he probably sees something of Shakuntala and LEEZ. Then, what kind of child would want to watch her parents suffer? So, take care of yourself first, and you can worry about your daughter after. No, and the hat blows off. She grabs it and puts it back on. He didn't see it, right? What should I do if he recognizes me? Should I say it's just a coincidence? Why are you so concerned about your hat? Hair loss. I have hair loss. What a shame for such a young girl. Ha ha ha. Frowny face. Shall we go down together until there? Oh my, she looks just like Rao. Okay, so Teo recognizes it. How could there be such a resemblance? That's how Rao would look if he was female. A relative? No, she can't be. I know all of Rao's close relatives. There was no such woman. What bothers me more than their conversation is who the woman is. Did she say her name was Rish? There is no fighter in our guild with such an unfavorable name. I thought this was going to be brought into things and maybe be a problem or something because of Gantarva, but no, it's actually maybe going to be because of Teo, but I feel like Teo should know the actual Rish. With such an unfavorable name. Enough of this. I should no longer hide, but I should... Or maybe she figures, okay, she's clearly not that Rish. She must be a different one. Priestess? Asha, what are you doing here? I was just having an evening exercise outside. What about you? I was informed that you were in Calabloom, but I never imagined that we'd meet here this way. I'm looking for someone. I saw a person in the woods, so I came by the last Toti Surya I could use today. Is that a different translation than usual? Hoti Surya. Maybe I'm just misremembering. But seeing you here all alone means it was not her. Still, I'm not too worried since my other party member will find her. What? Me here alone? That can't be. Oh no, they left already. Now we have Yuta looking around. And is that him sensing her? Or no, him sensing Gantarva. And he's with her. To be continued. Oh man. Okay, well I'm gonna have to end things here. I'm gonna have to hold myself back here. Another incredible one. I think, again, the first of these 4 chapters probably got the most discussion out of me, was the most immediately incredible, but that is nothing to take away from the 3 after that, because all 3 of them were extremely good too. I'm going to miss younger LEEZ. We're probably going to go back to younger LEEZ very soon. But I'm gonna miss this like older LEEZ because she's really cool. I love this outfit, this style. She's awesome. But yeah, let me go to the afterward. Raoul thumbnail. He's there in spirit. I'm not in my right mind. I'm sitting down to write the afterword, but submitting the episode 230 file here instead. And then LEEZ tugging at her hat. LEEZ is tall and skinny, but the only problem area is fat, question mark. I never drew a female character tall like her before, so it's awkward for me to draw her. I keep drawing her in her original size, so I have to keep fixing her. Really? I'm surprised she had that much trouble because I love the proportions and just general style that the older LEEZ has going on. I think a lot of it has to do with the fashion too. I think fashion is the hugest part of a character design in a lot of ways. But yeah, I think she looks really good, the design wise. And then Shakantala, when she speaks this line, the background is the Shura realm, so the sky should be red. And then Katarva's memory calibrates itself. LEEZ's hat blowing off. She claims she wears the hat because of hair loss, but it's not really convincing that her hair is thinning. Then the scene with Teo hiding behind a tree. There was some dialogue after LEEZ insisted she was going bald, but I didn't draw the speech bubble because of a mistake. You can't see the dialogue at the moment because the background's dark. I requested that be fixed so it'll be corrected tomorrow. And then it has now been fixed. The part about the transparent artwork, which was wrong, has been corrected as well. Thanks for letting me know. Again, I love little notes like that too. That's really cool. Okay, afterward was great. I love doing the afterwards as part of this too. But that means we're done here this week. This is going to be a long one, so oh wow, my elbow just popped. I don't know if you heard that on the mic or not. My elbow just popped when I went to lift my hand up. Yeah, I had a ton of fun. I thought these were incredibly good. I'm excited to do 3 more next week. Again, I don't know what kind of time I'll have next week. Either I will get, like, if I wake up really early somehow, I will get these up really early. I don't know how my schedule, like how my sleep schedule would change by then. I really need to fix my sleep schedule. Or after I do what I need to do next Monday, whether I'm, free at like 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. or even if I'm not free till basically midnight like this week, I'll be doing the next Kubera video then. So with that aside, I guess like, comment, and subscribe. Like if you did like the video, comment on there. Tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more Kubera, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it is free and open for anyone. Yeah, I guess. If you want a link to the Discord server, just ask and I can give you a link. If you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that'd be appreciated. If you want to help support the channel and also get your name at the end of every video, get One Piece videos a little bit early, then all you have to do is hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron, and it'll help support the channel as well as, get your name at the end of every video and stuff. So, thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girls, FR Nono, Abyss Knight, JA, The D-Man, and Irony, Cheriton Students, David Langstaff, and Folded Ghoul, Slayer Candidates, SG, and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element Paterial, who will, next video, next time I record, tomorrow, have a crown by his name. I was going to do it for today's video a day early, but I literally sat down to record Kubera and I was like, I didn't go in Photoshop and update the graphic. So I was like, well, I'm already sitting here recording. Like literally as I was like hitting record for the first chapter here, I remembered that I didn't update the patrons and members thing. So it will be done tomorrow. I wanted to do it a day early so that it would be done for Kubera for him, but sorry, my mistake, my bad. I'll have it up there tomorrow. But yeah, either way, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you all next time.